Welcome back. It's February, the month of love. What are you expecting from your partner? A box of chocolates or a black eye? For many women, this is the reality of their relationships, and it's ugly. On average, in South Africa, there are 116 rapes every single day, according to crime statistics. And over 2,000 calls or complaints about gender-based violence were made in just the first week of lockdown. As we celebrate this month of love, one organization says we need to reflect on how we treat women. To tell us more, I'm joined by Shout It Out Now's Cristianne Wendler. A very good morning to you, Cristianne. Thank you very much for your time. I mean, these stats are absolutely heartbreaking, and they've only gotten worse since COVID-19. So talk to me about what Shout It Out Now is trying to do to try and raise awareness, as well as being there and being a form of support for victims.
Thank you so much for having us and for putting a light on this very important issue. Part of what we need to do is talk about it. There's a lot of silence around gender-based violence, and so any opportunity to talk about it at an individual, at a community, at a media level is really important, and we welcome it. Thank you. At Shout It Now, we are a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing all of our clients with client-friendly sexual reproductive health and wellness services. And we have a particular focus on adolescent girls and young women because both from a gender-based violence as well as an HIV perspective, that is the population most heavily impacted. So we have large buses as well as smaller vans that go into communities to serve clients where they are. We offer a range of sexual reproductive health services, HIV testing, PrEP, which a lot of people don't realize is a pill which taken once a day can prevent HIV infection, and is a really important thing for young women in particular to access if they're in a violent situation and don't have control over their sexual decision making, which many women do not. Then PrEP gives them the ability to protect themselves from HIV. And that's one of those services that we offer in that space for post-violence care. Any survivor, that whether it needs counseling services, emergency contraception, HIV testing, STI screening, we offer all of those services as well. And then we also have violence prevention programs for all ages, males and females, because that's where we start having the conversations to break down these really damaging gender norms that are at the root cause of gender-based violence.
And your main focus is also making sure that the countries and the world in general put women at a higher regard, because this is where the basis of the problem is.
Yes, correct. It's we can talk about, yes, a lot of contributing factors. Does the presence of HIV make GBV worse? Yes. Is teen pregnancy an issue? Is access to education? Is poverty and inequality? These are all compounding, contributing factors to each other. They're mutually reinforcing. But when it comes to if we're really going to combat gender-based violence, you have to go to the root cause. We can't treat the symptoms. And the root cause is these damaging gender norms, which create a power imbalance that puts a higher value on men than women. And we see that play out in women's access to property, to inheritance rights, to legal justice, to education, to healthcare. Those are all ways that it plays out when we see gender norms. And we speak them every day. Everyone has gender norms and biases because they come to us in childhood. So there's something that's very ingrained in who we are. And it's not until we start talking about it and have these platforms to start breaking down and understanding how damaging they are that we can really start to change it.
And also one of the things that I think many people might not realize is that the more cases of GBV that we have, it also contributes directly to the number of infections in terms of HIV. Is that why it was so important for Shout It Out Now to make sure that you educate and also offer services related to that epidemic too?
Yes, exactly. We actually, Shout It Now came from an HIV. That is historically where we served. And as the HIV epidemic has evolved, so have our services as we are client-centric. Therefore, that means we have to provide what, when, and how clients need the services. And as we can't silo HIV, just like we can't silo GBV. If I'm in a violent situation at home and I test HIV positive, I may be afraid to come home and disclose my status. Because have I been unfaithful, or am I accusing therefore my partner of being unfaithful? If I'm positive, adhering to treatment may be more difficult. If I haven't disclosed my status, I'm afraid of someone finding my medication and what will happen when that is found out. So from the HIV, whether we talk HIV prevention, HIV treatment, or viral suppression, which is absolutely critical for South Africa, for individuals to achieve achieve viral suppression, all of those things become much more difficult in a violent situation because I don't have control over the decisions I make, and that affects my health.
And then, Cristianne, just very quickly, where do people go to for more information? And if they need help, where do they go?
So they can go to our website. Shout It Now has a website. We also have on the website, you'll find our WhatsApp number. We're on Facebook. And our WhatsApp number, you can just simply send a message. You can just say hi, and we'll phone you back. We do have a lot of times people aren't sure. They're afraid to access services because they're afraid of being judged. They're not sure what services are there. And it's really important that for anyone listening, we want people to know our services are all very client-centric, non-judgmental. We're here to serve you. What any survivor needs is different, and it's important that we're able to listen and provide the services that individual needs.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Cristianne Wendler. That was Cristianne Wendler from Shout It Out Now.